Greetings. My name is Eric Lang, and this is another installment of People-Centered Project Management Phenomena related to the book I've released, Engagement, Focus, Intention, and Project Management. And every week I get to pick a new topic, and I have many topics to choose from. There's over 80 People-Centered Project Management Phenomena listed in the book, and then there's a number of additional adjacent and tangential topics related to those phenomena. And beyond just the engagement, focus, intention topics. And for this week, I decided to choose the crap perfection juxtaposition. And this is related to, in project management, when we're doing the initial scope for a project and we're taking and putting together what is going to be achieved. These scope topics, just set them up, and we're looking at things that we want to meet or exceed. So when we're looking at structuring the scope of the project, these are the meet or exceed goals for the total project. Now, sometimes during project, I shouldn't say sometimes, most of the time during the project, those meet or exceed will begin to creep. And that's a separate topic, a separate phenomena that needs to be addressed, where the goalposts get moved as the project is executing. And that's something that project managers have to guard against. But in terms of how the interpretation of the different specifications for the scope of the project are, those things will begin to move in a not in a goalpost way where new things are being added. What will happen is you'll see instead of being to meet or exceed expectations, you'll see perfection. We must achieve perfection in each one of these things. So the characteristics of the project, it could be how tall it is, or how much it weighs, or how fast it is, or how much memory it has, or some other list on a specification sheet. Those things will go from meeting a certain requirement to being, we have to have an ideal outcome or a perfect outcome. And perfection is really expensive and really time consuming. And so as a project manager, just like scope creep, attempts at achieving perfection are something you have to guard against. And my favorite quote for this, it's in the book. This came from one of my former MSOE professors that I've stayed in touch with over the years, Dr. Uwe Peterson, former Bell Labs researcher. And he shared a really cool quote with me from his Bell Labs day, which was, we fired people who attempted perfection. And that really should be the approach for perfection. Anyone who says we're going to get this absolutely perfect, that's just unnecessary. You need to go for meets or exceeds. You need to have a clear understanding of what the project is going to achieve, how the people consuming the outcome of the project are going to consume it, so that you understand how that meet and exceed works, versus we'll just do a perfection thing that is very expensive, very time consuming, very frustrating to deliver, and ultimately perfection is impossible to deliver. So when you're trying to achieve perfection, all you end up doing is spending a lot of time and money and being frustrated at the end anyway. So have a clear understanding of the problems you're solving, the people you're servicing with the project, and make sure that those project specifications are written up front in such a way that you're going to meet or exceed them. Versus attempting a perfect arrival at the end. And the people-centered project management phenomena for this is the crap perfection juxtaposition. And the reason for that is there's really two concepts here. One is perfection, where 100% perfection is really expensive. And then on the other end of the spectrum is 100% crap. And there is value to be achieved moving from one direction to the other, but the costs eventually begin to exponentially rise as you get towards 100% perfection. So moving from 100% crap to 5% crap can have a relatively minimal cost and delivers a tremendous amount of value. The final outcome is not a stellar outcome, but it's certainly better than it was before. And it depends on what the project is addressing. So for instance, when you're building an automobile, you really do need to achieve 100%, because delivering a car without tires just isn't going to get you there. Okay. But if you're updating 12 documents, and that's what the project scope is, if you update 11 projects, that's a lot of value. And that needs to be recognized, that perfection of delivering 12 documents was not achieved, but getting to a 65% or 75% perfection by getting 11 out of 12 complete. That has significant value and meets or exceeds expectations for a lot of people involved in that process. So you may have an iterative type approach where you work through a chunk of the project, deliver a significant portion of the scope, and then you can deliver more. And it depends on what the project is made up of to be able to do this. But just be mindful that perfection isn't free. And perfection often costs far more than was originally taken into account at the beginning of the project. Whereas if you look at meets or exceeds expectations, you can deliver faster with less friction and much less cost. So be mindful of what the final outcome for that project is and what problems you're going to be solving with that project and who the final consumers are and what their realistic expectations are. And avoid that P word. Stay away from perfection. And just remember the words of Dr. Peterson: we fired people who attempted perfection. The quotes in the book. I want to thank you for taking the time this week to watch another video, another installment on people-centered project management phenomena in my engagement, focus, intention, and project management book, available on Amazon. Take some time here, hit subscribe, hit like, and thank you.